Yes, people! Welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another. I just got some news coming. Sorry, I'm just reading something. For another Chelsea transfer news show for you guys. We have got lots to discuss. We've just had some breaking news on Nico Williams, which we're going to be talking about very soon, guys. Welcome in. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday as well. Lots to discuss in and around it. Nico Williams is a part of the conversation that we'll be having today. So we will be talking about that very, very soon as well, guys. But do me a favor, make sure you're smashing the like, share it out. Lots to get into. Fats, how you doing, my bro? Good to see you. Over 100 people. And guys, we have had some news. We are going to break it in a second for you guys as well. But I need you guys to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new here as well. Run up the likes, guys. Run up the likes. Lots to talk on about as well. Hope you're having a blessed Sunday. And let's cue the intro. Welcome back to GNA TV and Chelsea Fan TV for another transfer news show for you guys. I hope that you are all well wherever it is that you are across the world. We have had some news on the Nico Williams situation, which we are going to get into very, very shortly. Some breaking news as well on that, which we'll be talking about in and around soon. How are we all doing in the chat, guys? I hope you're all well. Come and say hello in the chat. Nearly 100 people in the building. Sesko Vlahovic is what RD's saying. Big up to you guys. Make sure you're hitting the thumbs as well, please. Just make sure we get them likes up. Go, 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 go. Fab tweet. Yep, we're gonna talk about that very, very soon. Raymond's son, welcome. Gabrielle. Fats, what you saying, my boy? Good to see you as always. I hope you're well. Roseanne, good to see you as well. How are you all doing, guys? Hope you're having a blessed week. Well, we'll talk about it when we're ready. Gary, how are you? Good to see you, Jem. Good to see ya. Here he is, Carlito. What you saying, my boy? Good to see you as well. Don't let the door hit you. We got Carlito in the building. EK, good to see. Yes, I've seen the Fab tweet, guys. There's a lot to get into. Nico Williams, we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the news in and around strikers options as well. From what we heard yesterday, Jonathan David. We got the Estevao news. We've got a lot, man. We've got a lot to catch up on. Lots to go through as well. I don't know about you, but I personally would like it more if Eze was one that came instead of Williams. Well, it may be the case that Williams isn't on the list. Williams isn't on the list. So we're going to talk about that very shortly. Let's get into things if we can. Hey, how are we doing? Good to see you. Good to see you guys. Good to see everyone in the building. But let's get straight into the thick and fast of things because we've got lots to go through along with that breaking news that we've just had as well. So let's just quickly fly through some bits. I want to start with the Ian Maatsen news, guys, because there's been sort of a domino effect on the back of this Ian Maatsen news. He has been announced to be going to Aston Villa. It's all confirmed and agreed at the moment as well. Maatsen will sign a 6-year deal at Villa until June 2030. Chelsea will receive 37.5 million. 37.5 million for Maatsen is pure profit, guys. That is good money being brought to the table by the football club. And a good sale price that we've managed to get. Dortmund wanted to pay in around the 25s plus million for him. Aston Villa wanted to pay more on one condition. Omari Kellyman joins Chelsea. Now, there was a talk about a specific individual Villa player in the agreement when it was announced a couple of days ago that Chelsea will be looking to sign a Villa player on the back of this deal. We all thought it might be Duran. It wasn't Duran. It was Omari Kellyman. Big up to Ian Maatsen, though. I hope that he has a very successful. Well, I hope he does well in the future. He is a good young talent. I think Aston Villa is a good level of team for him as well. They're not bad. They've got some very good players. They'll be playing Champions League football next season as well. So there's a lot going on there with him as well. Guys, I know about the Nico stuff. We're going to talk about that in a bit. We're just trying to fly through everything. Nico Williams news is around the corner. So big up to Maatsen. And, whatever goes on with him moving forward. And on the back of that, Chelsea have announced Omari Kellyman as well. Here we go. It's a deal, player side, deal in a place. Also on the player side, after club-to-club agreement with Villa, we've put down a £90 million verbal offer for him. It is a lot of money. But guess what? We are signing a lot of these young players for what seems to be quite a lot of money. And that tells me that we look at them and feel that they're going to be very important in what we do with them moving forward. Whether they make the Chelsea team, which I think some of them will, or whether they go out on loan and grow with experience and then we make profit on them later on. It is a business. Unfortunately, this is what part of the project, the profile of what they're trying to do. This is a part of it. This is what they're trying to do. They want to bring in young players, maybe a bit too many young players. That can be the worrying side. I agree. Just depends what we're also doing for the now, which is when we talk about Nico Williams and other people. They're players for the now, but players like this here with Omari Kellyman are definitely ones for the future, along with Estevao, along with Kendry Páez, along with a number of names that we've also brought in. There's also talk about an Argentinian defender that we're looking to bring as well. And one way or the other, the aim is to try and make money on these players. It doesn't matter whether they make it or they don't and they get signed by someone else. As long as they have good loan spells, as long as they're doing what they're doing elsewhere, fingers crossed we can make money on them in the future. So it's one of them things. Why do people just come in so aggressive all the time? And it had to be a Man United fan, didn't it? It's always a Man United fan, isn't it? All right, mate. No worries, mate. Whatever you say. Wasted 20 million off Maatsen deal on Baby Kelly. Yep, it does feel and look like that. Don't get me wrong. And it's a pain in the backside. Guys, there's over 150 people of you in the building. However, there's been lots of talks across Twitter. Like, I haven't watched him personally. Lots of people look at this guy and think he's a very good young player. There's a very good young player in him. Listen, is he for the now? No. Is he for the future? Should be. However, at the end of the day, we have there are some underlying issues that we do need to sort out in the squad. Sorry, I'm just reading something someone sent me. But there is some underlying issues that we do have in our squad that we need to address now, and we know that. We know all this. We need to sort out the striker position. We look like we're going to get a winger. We could even need a left back. Maybe these are all the things we're going to need. Load of Rose purchase. He'll go straight to Strasbourg at best. Yeah, and this is the thing, James. Even if he doesn't make it into our club and he goes on Strasbourg and does really well and allows them to be more competitive in the league over there, and someone comes in for him, then they're just going to sell him for profit. And I think that's what they're doing. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do or that it's going to work. What I'm saying to you guys is I think this is what they're trying to do. This is what I think they're trying to do. So look, we move on from Kellyman and we're going to move on to quickly Estevao because we do want to get on to this Nico Williams news as well. Chelsea Football Club have agreed to sign Estevao Willian from Palmeiras with the Brazilian to officially join Chelsea next summer. We know it's the 2025 that he'll be joining us. This boy in Brazil is being touted as the next big thing since Neymar. We'll have to wait and see. There's a big promise in him. Don't get me wrong. He is still very young. He will have to adapt himself as he gets older. Physically, will he adapt as well? There's no doubt that he's got ability on the ball and that he's a talented young player, beats his player, cuts inside, he's got a lovely sweet left foot, can pick a point in each corner. There's a very good player in him. We did also have Estevao confirmed by Fabrizio Romano as well, who says that exclusive Chelsea have signed all the documents for Estevao's deal. Final conditions are 34 fixed euros fixed fee with 6 million add-ons. 70 million add-ons based on being multi-season star at Chelsea. These will occur in add-ons later, and a 4 million add-ons difficult, a 4 million euro difficult add-ons. Fuck, I don't know what that means. What's difficult add-ons? I've never heard anything like that before. That's an interesting one. But he is announced. He is another young player that's joined, along with Omari Kellyman and other individuals to Chelsea Football Club. I can explain that. But, what are the use of these young players? Now, listen, some of them aren't going to make it in. We know that. Are we trying to sign a lot of young prospect players? Yes, but there are certain individuals that are being touted to be playing in the first team squad in the future. And when you look at the Kendry Páez and Estevao situation, we had a comment here saying it's understood that Chelsea are not thinking in terms of loaning Estevao out to gain further experience. One of the reasons that he chose the London club, they image him immediately fighting for a place in the first team, along presumably with wonder kid Kendry Páez, who will join them at the same time. Estevao, Páez, Palmer, Madueke, Nkunku, Mudryk. Listen, they all seem like players that predominantly like to play off the right, but don't get me wrong. I've seen Kendry Páez play in a 10 role. Estevao could play off the right and bring in competition for Mdwaki. There's nothing wrong with that. Bring them in. Don't force them in. Bring them in. Give them minutes. Let's see what they're about. Let's see if they improve us. And if they're that special and they're that good at the age they are, they will force their way into the team. They will be the difference. They will show their talents on one of the biggest stages of football. That's it. And if that's the idea, and we're not going to loan them, we'll find out. DiMarzio's a liar. Everyone's getting on. Listen, guys, I don't know why we're getting so. We're going to talk about it. Do you know what? Are we coming to it now? Let me have a quick look. We are. It's building straight into it because on the back of this next tweet, because we haven't spoke about it, I haven't been on. Not this one. This one is the Nico Williams stuff. We got the news that Olise to Chelsea was off. David Ornstein with a big bomber drop confirms that Chelsea withdraw from the race to sign Palace winger Olise. We did hold talks with him. Plus, we felt that the financial involved circumstances were beyond reach. Instead, planned to reward existing players and new recruits expected to add 2 attackers. So we've not ruled out still improving the area. We haven't ruled out. Sorry, I'm just getting messages as we speak. We haven't ruled out improving the attacking area. I think there will be a winger and a striker still. It's just who and what's coming in. Who is the individual. Olise, who we were getting told we were fascinated with and that we wanted, and he's the player that needs to come to Chelsea. We then get told by Ornstein that not Olise pulled out, but that Chelsea themselves pulled out for financial situations. And one of the situations were the wages. And apparently, Olise wants to be one of the highest paid players in Chelsea. I don't know what the actual package is yet, but obviously we've got the news after that on Olise in regards to Ornstein, who then goes on to say that he's from that, and this was on the back of it, gone to Bayern Munich. So he made the decision to join Bayern Munich. We know it's a here we go. We know it's been confirmed. He's joined Bayern Munich among 3 clubs, Chelsea and Newcastle, and they've agreed it. Now, we've been told 45, 50 million fee, but a big part of it is how big his wages is. And when you look at the Bayern Munich wage structure over there, I think there was about 7 or 8 players that were all paid between the regions of 300k all the way down to 200k. They like spending heavy money on wages for their players, and it suited them. The issue we had is that, as we know, and has been the case for a while, and we've all known this is another thing. We are becoming very strict on our wage structure and the fact that we want to reduce the wage bill. And when we sign these players, and we had the amortization option where we could sign them for 9 years, but at least bring down their wage bill, it worked for us. We don't have that option anymore. So when a player of a profile of Olise comes knocking on the door, unless we start selling the players that are giving us problems with the wage bill, Lukaku, Sterling, Kepa, Ben Chilwell, all these type of players, we are going to struggle to make decisions straight away to be able to sign players like this. And I know it sucks. It is. But if this is where what he wanted, and we couldn't get him to compromise with us and work with us on it, then it is what it is. And even if it might have even been the case that he just chose Bayern, Champions League football, other things, this, that, and the other. Yeah, it is what it is, But I have a strong feeling that the reason we pulled out of this whole situation was because of that. It is what it is. We're not in a position to be able to do that. And it sucks. And then it comes on to the next bit. Elise's out the window. We're not getting him now. Just big up Jan said, guys, nearly 200 people in the building. Do me a favor. Run the likes up, guys. Can we get the likes up? Hit the thumbs. Share it out on your socials as well, guys. We've got a lot to go through. So please, if you can, let's get these likes up. Nearly 200 people already here. That ain't no different, Stuart, to what we've been doing for ages. I don't get why we're getting mixed up with what we're doing with young players to what we're doing with what we need to improve now. Because what we need to improve now is, for this season, for me, isn't going to be like what we did last summer. Because we have spent a lot of money. And yeah, maybe we overspent. And we have overspent, maybe. But now they have to be a little bit more stricter in who they buy. That's why they've moved away from Osimhen. This is why they're moving away from specific players that are maybe got higher wages or higher fees because it's just not doable. It's not feasible. Now, look, am I massively upset about not getting Olise? No. To be quite honest with you, I'm not. Because I do think the winger market is very strong. However, I do think it's very important what we do moving forward because it is an area that we've supposedly want to improve. And this is what leads on to my next thing. Gary, big up Gary. Yeah, and this is what leads on to my next thing. You know, you can say the right stacks. You're right. Estevao, Kendry Piaz, Madwakey, Palmer plays off the right. Yes, he plays the 10 for us, but he can play off the right. We have a lot of players over there, and we do need to think about it. Because when you look at the left-hand side, it is a lot more vulnerable in terms of balance than it is the right. So the right answer for me is to go look at the left. Yes, you could play Nkunku over there. Yes, we have Mudryk, but he's struggling. He's struggling to get to that level we need him to, and he might need a bit more time. It looks like it. Sterling, he's got to be one of the ones eventually that's got to be sold because he's 300k a week that he's getting. He shouldn't be getting. So these are the type of players that we need to, this is the type of area I think we need to concentrate on. So not getting Olise doesn't really upset me that much. No, it doesn't. So, and he isn't, yeah, obviously. So, you know, he's chose to go there. We couldn't compromise with the wages. Yeah, it sucks, but this is where we are. This is just where we are as a club. Until we start selling these players, and I do think Chalobah will still get sold. I do think maybe Gallagher, potentially, if we can get the right rate for him, will be sold. Until we start also selling these players. Lukaku needs to go. He's on 300k a week. Why is he still here? Get rid of him. Napoli, Saudi. Ziyech is gone, isn't he? I think. You know, there's others. There's a list. We know that shouldn't be here. Start funneling out these players. You know, release that build-up of issues that we're having with the wage bill. Because that is an issue. It's too big. You can't sign all the players we have, including the young players, yeah, and still want to sign players with high fees and big wage structures. It's not going to happen. We have to sell. We have to. So this is why I look at the board, because they need to do their job. This is what they're there to do now. And they've sold Maatsen. They've got Maatsen out the door, which is fine. We've managed to do that. But now they need to think about, you know, doing some other bits as well. And yeah, it doesn't mean we won't be able to sign. I still think we will. But we do need to sell. We do need to sell. You know, and this goes on to my next part. And this is the next bit, which we all want to talk about. Nico Williams. Now, Nico Williams is a great player. A very good player. I like him. Does he actually fix a problem for us? Yeah, to a degree. Because he's a talented left winger. You don't bring him in to play him off the right. You play him off the left. And there's been lots of talks, i.e. from Dimarzio and others, that Chelsea have made him the #1 target. But Fabrizio Romano, in recent minutes, the last 20 minutes ago, has come out with this comment saying Chelsea's position on Williams has not changed. Appreciate him as was on shortlist already last summer, but current package too expensive. Release clause over 58 million plus tax, with main payment up front, and a salary request considers too high. Now, look, I don't think the 58 million release clause or fee, what he's got there, is not doable. That's pushing what, 50 odd million for the player? The big issue again is the wage. Because this guy's already on 100 and, what's he on, 160, 170? What's he on at the moment? I'm going to have a look. What is Nico Williams on wage structure? I need to have a look. What is Nico Williams' wage structure? He takes a gross 200,000 already per week, gross. Yeah, so he's left with what, 160 odd thousand? He takes 10.4 million home already a year. This guy's already asked for a wage request. He wants more than what he's even getting there. If Olise is on this 220/250k a week and we pulled out on that, what chance have we got doing 250k a week for him? Even though the position itself is probably more required. Yeah, we need it actually more. Thinking about it, we do. And yes, Nico Williams is a good player. He is a good player. Yeah, the fee's not the issue. People don't realise. I don't think the fee. Listen, this is not a fee problem. Even with Olise, there's no way in hell we couldn't afford the 45 million, 50 million, whatever they wanted. That weren't the issue. The issue in all of it is it's the wage structure and probably the plan, how you're setting it out, and it's just going to be the same problem with him. And it sucks, yeah, because another young, talented player for the now that could come into the team, would he improve us? Yes. Yeah, he would improve us. But we're not in a position to, we're not in a position to be able to purchase him. And then people go, well, where did this news all come from? Well, today, that's Fabrizio recently saying that. But today, was it today or yesterday? We had that comment from DiMarzio saying that Chelsea are set to push to sign Athletic Club winger Nico Williams after Olise decided to join. And people were getting excited. Vamos, yes, let's go, let's go. But when you actually narrow it down, it makes no sense. It makes no sense because at the end of the day, he would still cost 55 million euros, which is already here. Chelsea are ready to activate the 55 million. Why would we activate the 55 million euros if we can't agree a wage structure with him beforehand? That makes no sense. I'm sorry. Now, I really hope that we can. If we somehow can get him to agree it, and this is all waffle, fine. Puts Fabrizio Romano in the mud as well. But to be quite honest with you, with what's happened with Olise and that being confirmed already, I can only go on what I'm seeing and what I feel. And what I feel from listening to Ornstein, more so at the moment, is that Chelsea aren't going to do the same thing with Nico Williams if they've just turned away Olise. So it sucks. It sucks. Of course it does. Of course it sucks. We're not going to do it though. Yeah, we saw the Fab tweet. We just went through it, Corey. Has he bought out another one? Let's have a quick look. As Fab bought, guys, keep smashing the likes, please. If you haven't got the likes up, what are we doing? What are we doing, guys? Smash the likes. Come on, we need to get this over 100 likes on each one if we can, please. That would be amazing. Yeah, I've seen this one. I've seen it. We were just talking about it just now. And you know what? I'll bring it up just one more time for the new people that are coming in, because we have got new people flying through the door currently at the moment. This is the most recent news, guys, on it. Now, I am going to drop the link actually sooner rather than later to the panel because I want to get them in, and people like Couch and stuff can get involved. So, yeah, that's where we're at with it. Big up, Dennington. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. 250 people in the building, guys. Good to see you all. Hope you're well. We've done well so far. We're down over 2 mil a week since Roman was in charge, and it will drop by more in the future. I can't see this board ever overpaying wages again. But the way that we're moving, yeah. DiMarzio trolls Chelsea. And you also, the thing with Ornstein is that I feel he kind of just says things as it is. Like he's just kind of like, boom, there it is. That's the confirmation. As with Fabrizio, I feel like he's gone a bit more. He's changed a bit. He's gone down a bit more of the PR route. I'll be quite honest with you, with the recycling all the time. Like he keeps saying the same thing. Chelsea are fascinated. Chelsea are interested, fascinated, interested. And then Ornstein drops a bomber, and then he's going, as per what Ornstein says, Chelsea have pulled out. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he needs to I think he just needs to stop tweeting as much. He was, and he was right. He was right about that, and we're going to talk about that in a second as well. But there you go, guys. There's your news. How do you feel about it? No shock. Who else is available off the left that we can sign? That's the question. Well, one of them that's being touted very highly still is this guy. Once I get him up, is this? Where is it? Is the potentials of having not this one? Where is it? Well, this ain't good. I'm just going to bring up an old tweet, so ignore the tweet. But is the chances of having maybe this guy? as an option. Somerville. How do you guys feel of the opportunity of bringing this guy in? Is he good enough? Is he good enough? What are your thoughts on Somerville being an option for Chelsea? Now, is there any news in around Chelsea and Somerville? Let's have a look. Are there any? No, not really. I mean, welcome to Chelsea. Welcome to Chelsea, Somerville. Chelsea already. Yeah, obviously we've just. I think people are now moving to Somerville after the Nico Williams news. So they're just saying now, if we ain't getting Nico Williams, surely Somerville fits the bracket. How much is Somerville? How much would he cost? Does anyone know? You know, would he be the right guy? Experience too. No, no, no. Gee, oh Christ, no, not for me. For me, he's not. He can't be crap, guys. He can't be crap, can he? Like sometimes I feel like we just go over the top. Don't forget, we are looking at Romana Sosa from left wing. I think our balls idea bring cheap youth. Yeah, he has a 30 million release clause, roughly. Okay, interesting. There was something I wanted to read actually about Somerville. It was on some. I can't remember where it is now. Okay, let's go over here with what the Green Turf says here. He goes on to talk about his comments on Somerville. Chelsea's drama account started Somerville out campaign already because he's not proven. He's from the Championship, not experienced. Won't improve us. The same geniuses who want to break the bank for Gakares. This guy is just not happy. He's not having it. But he brought out a tweet. He brought out a tweet actually on. No, I think it was Jonathan David. It wasn't Somerville. But anyway, Somerville being one of the guys is Kaiser Sosa. This is what I'm saying. Who is it going to be? Apparently, we have options. Apparently, we have options, and it always seems like Chelsea have options of a certain number of players to come and join us and whatever. Blah 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 blah. Well, Nico Williams seems to have just been squashed. Olise's gone. Who's left? Sosa, Somerville. Who else? Will we move our attentions to the striker? Will the striker area be the next area that we look at? Now, how would we look with someone like Nico Williams in the team? Probably like that. Probably like that with a striker. Probably like that. Probably like that, guys. That is probably something I would expect. Again, we don't know how Morris is going to play. We don't know how he's going to set us up. We don't have any of that sort of, no idea of what the case is going to be there. They're all under 23 years old. Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, again, that don't shock me. That don't shock me. So, any more news in around the wingers? I think this week, you want my proof? We're going to be doing I think we're going to be busy. I think there's going to be shows. I think we're going to get more news on the wingers. I think we're going to get more news on the forwards. And that's where we're going to go next with the forwards, guys. So make sure you smash it a like, share it out as well. Here's the news in and around this guy, who I'm quite happy we've walked away from. Samu Amadorian was one of the strikers that we were linked to, was part of Atletico Madrid. He ain't ready. I watched a bit of him and his profile. He's quick, strong, does kind of know what the net is, but his overall play isn't good enough. Like, he's very raw. And maybe he is good in the next 2-3 years, but at the moment he's too young. And I say that as if like Chelsea wouldn't buy him because he's too young, but for what they want for him and what he's actually done, it makes no sense to want to sign Samu Adorian from Atletico Madrid. But then it leaves us horrible finishing. Yeah, overrated. He's mid. It's true. Yeah, he's just not good, and that's one thing I'm happy with that we've pulled out on in many instances. I think we'll be more busy after next weekend since it's the new PSR season. True. Maybe we're waiting to sell after that as well. Yeah, July onwards we could start kicking on. But remember, pre-season starts, so I don't see us. Maybe I'm wrong. See us just leaving things last minute again. We probably will because it's Chelsea, but I don't feel with selling and stuff that's going to be the case. We'll turn him into a top striker, is what Ike's saying. Interesting. We'll see. But then it leads on to my next thing because this come out of nowhere yesterday. I was sitting at home, chilling, relaxing, thinking, yeah, we're all good, whatever. No Chelsea news. We can relax for a little bit, blah, 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 blah. And then this come out. And this come out, guys. The links to Jonathan David. Chelsea hold talks with reps of striker Jonathan David over a potential summer move. The 24-year-old is high among the multiple Chelsea options, plus contract 2025, so fee likely to be reasonable. No approach to Lille yet, but good relations between the club. What they're saying is Jonathan David is on the list. Now, when I saw this go across Twitter, meltdown. Everyone was like, what are we doing? No. Oh, my God, he's so bad. Oh, my God. Listen, he's not anyone's first choice striker. We know that. But then you look at the striker market, and I've banged on about the striker market for a long time with you guys. It is not good. Like, it generally is just not good. The striker market is poo. It's not a good market. So you look at what was available and where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do, and it's very hard because we don't know what sort of style Maresca wants to play, how he's going to set us up, how he's going to move forward with us as well. But you look at the background of the striker. You look at the background of the striker, and that's the big thing for me. Well, what is he doing at Lille? What is it that he can bring to the club that could improve us? Well, one of the big things is this. He scores goals, guys. Now, would he be better around better players is a question mark. Can he get any better than what he is? I don't know. Does he provide goals for this Chelsea team? Yes. Does he give us a better goal ratio Chelsea team? Yes. So ultimately, does he improve Chelsea in front of goal? Yes. Because when you have numbers like that, he knows where the goal is. He knows where the goal is. Now, the issue being where everyone's a bit, oh, no, I'm not sure, like going crazy. The only issue is, and we don't know this yet, none of us do, is how are we going to fit him in regards to his profile? Because he's a hard worker off the ball, yeah? He's more of like a counter, I would say he's more of a counter type striker. Is he good enough in the build-up play, possession base? Will he help us in low blocks? He scores goals. So equally, when you look at the amount of creation that we done last season, and we was one of the highest teams in terms of creating last season, would someone like Jonathan David be okay at Chelsea? Yes. Is he better than Duran? Is he better than Duran and the other guy from Atletico? Yes. So actually, we're being linked to a striker, which, all right, none of us thought about, and maybe still not our first choice, but knows where the goal is. So, yeah, but that's not the point. You're still missing the point, Ashraf. Doesn't matter. He might be at the peak of his development. He might be. But what does he do very well? He scores goals. So, what we're doing here, do you want to bring in a Duran and just hope that he's going to score goals, but just suits the style of play? Because this is the problem. The market for strikers is crap. Is he a better finisher than Jackson? Yeah. With them numbers, yeah. That's for sure. Like, sometimes we need to take a step back. Like, what I'm saying is sometimes I feel like we just jump on everything all the time. That's what I feel like when I watch our fan base. I'm not saying he's the best striker in the world for Chelsea and that he's going to take us to the Premier League. No, I'm not saying anything like that. But when I look at his numbers, and I know it's not just about the numbers, I agree with Ashraf. It's not a farmers league though. It's not really, is it? I mean, it's not what it was years ago. It is still improved. Like, it's the French league still. Yeah, but would he score as many goals as Jonathan David? And how many chances has Jackson missed? And I'm not saying this is not about hitting Jackson with a shovel and saying he ain't good enough. But I don't think people are understanding this. We are not getting a top world class striker. Do you know why? Because it ain't available, guys. It's not happening. So what do you want? Do you just want to stick with Jackson for this season? Who do you want? Give some names. Tell me. Tell me what's better and why it's better. So Nitrix would rather have Duran. But this guy's got a better trajectory and proof of goals. But and again, I'm not against Duran. I just think, is he better than Duran? Yes, because he's got experience. He's still young. He's going to cost about £30 million. Is he high risk? No. Will he develop and be better around Chelsea players? Question mark. Maybe he's hit his peak of his development. Maybe he just can't get any better. That could be the case. But does he improve us? Does he come in and improve us? Does he come in and improve us? Of course he does. Look at the stats. The guy scores goals. And it's not like we don't create. It's not like we struggle to create. That little team probably struggles to create. They probably create, but they don't create to the level that we do. Look how many checks and misses Jackson made. Look how many misses Jackson had for us. All I'm saying is if Jackson scores 15, 16 goals next season, but this guy scores 15 goals, let's just say, or 20, or 18, or 17, whatever. Guess what? We're in a better place automatically because what have we done? We've added a striker with a good goal ratio that can actually convert. So even if Jackson still scores 15 goals, we have having another striker that can contribute makes us better. That's common sense. So I'm not like, I don't get like, I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not sitting here saying, yeah, Jonathan David. Yeah, I'm not sure how he's going to work from a profile side. I'm not sure how he's going to work from a profile side. I don't know if he's going to fit perfect. Don't know that. But what will he do if we create for him? Score goals. Do you know what I mean? So, yes, he works hard off the ball. Yes. Is he the right profile? Question mark. If you create enough for him, will he score goals? Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, but you can't ignore the numbers. I'm sorry, you can't. I won't listen to it. And even Vic, I'm sorry. I'm not going to sit here and beat down a player that scored double-digit goals since he's been at Gent. Again, since 2019. He still scored 14. And then he put another 20. This is my point. People are not getting it. If he scores 14, but Jackson scores 14, what does that mean? Does that mean we start winning the games that we were losing or drawing because now we're taking more of our chances? More of the creative chances that we're having made for us? Yes. We need a striker. Tell me who we get in for striker then. Go on. Tell me. Because we're always battering players down. Yes, Eric Blue. Someone tell me. I want someone to tell me in the chat, the ones that are up against it. And I'm not saying, listen, I need to stress this. I'm not saying Jonathan David is the perfect player for Chelsea. I'm not sure if he is. But when I look at this, you can't ignore it. You can't ignore that. It doesn't matter. Vic, this is where you're not making sense, bro. Throw me some names because you're moaning about Ad Lacazette or Bam Wahi. But guess what? We create a lot more now with the players we have than we did when Aubameyang was here before. In fact, we had no creators back then. We created through Reece James and Ben Chilwell and sometimes Jorginho. We're a different squad now. People need to move forward. We're different now. We create more. We create more. Listen, I'm cool with that as well. But guess what? Guess what? We ain't going to sign. Guess what? We ain't going to sign Gracie. 28 years old. He's too old. You know, it only costs us 30 million. I would go with Gracie. I think he's a good player. That's a good call, Bruno. Again, I'm cool with that. But what I can't stand is when we as fan base sit here bashing people all the time, but don't have any answers to it. The striker market's crap. This boy's good. That Matty said as well. I've seen him. Yeah, well, he's good. I know how much you like him. He's a good player. But what I'm saying is the guy scored goals. Like, why are we ignoring that? Oh, he's in a farmers league. Oh, what are we doing? Do we not know what market we're in now? Do we not see what the issues is? Do we not sit here and wonder why we struggled to sign a striker since Lukaku? Are we still doing this? We're not going to sign a Benzema or a Lewandowski. Who, do you know what? I would actually do. I would do that if it was me. I think them up there with being creative with Palmer and whoever, they would score goals for fun, even at their old age. I really do. But we're not doing that. So if we're not doing that, and we're looking at the mid-age bracket to have some sort of competition for Jackson, who are not the best strikers in the world, but they score goals and they're clinical and they can add something and improve us. Who? You know what I like, Guerri, who said, yeah, but guess what? You know, guess what? That was my choice. He, for me, is the guy I wanted. But we're not going to do that because he's 85 million release clause. He's got an 85 million release clause. We ain't going to sign this guy. I like Gracie from what I've seen of him. I think the style of, I think the way that he scores a variation of goals is very good. He brings experience. I like him. 30 million. This is low risk. But Jonathan David is low risk. 30 million euros. And he's got a score record like that. And he has a score record like that. You know, he's going to come in for rotation. Jackson is going to play, but he's going to come in and rotate. And we need that. What we're saying is we need that. We can't just have Jackson. We need something. We need someone else that can at least try and help us in front of goals so that when we create for him, they put it in the back of the net. And what I'm saying is his numbers show that he scores goals. Can't ignore that, guys. You can't ignore the numbers that this guy scores. Yeah, that sucks. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, but even I don't know about him. I don't know if I like Moukoko. I've seen him a couple of times. You know, he's not even in the talks. Do you know what I mean? It's not selling. You're not. I don't think you're listening to me, Vic. You're not really listening to me, bro. You're not understanding. So you'd be happy just to go into next season without a striker and just stick with Jackson. Like, people they're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm saying to you, if we go and get Jonathan David, because the market is limited and this is what we've come to, yeah, and I look at what I'm seeing in terms of what he's done, and he's 24 and he has experience to a degree as well, I'm saying, okay, cool. Why not? We need it. And guess what? He ain't going to be high risk because we're not going to pay much for him. So what's the problem? What's the problem? Stop selling. What's the problem? Tell me. What's the problem? Because all you've told me is Gokores. So come on. Okay, so you're saying we're okay with Nkunku, Jackson, and Datro. Fine. I don't think we are. But who do you want, Ashraf? This is what I'm saying. I just think people go over the top for things. And I'm not saying that he's the perfect player for us. I'm not saying he fits the bill for Chelsea. We don't know. That's the fucking problem. We don't know even if he's going to work at Chelsea because of the profile and whatever. But listen, he's one of multiple options. Is his scoring record good? Yes. He has a good scoring record. Okay. What else does he have that's very good and very important? Well, how many times does he get injured? What's also key? what's also key in everything, especially with us, is that availability. The guy's only missed what, 3 games in his whole career? The guy has missed 3 games in his whole career. And he plays. Three games. That Trofofana, that. I don't know what to say. I don't think certain people understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to sell him to you. I'm just trying to give you a bit more of a vision so that you can see what I think we would be trying to do if we signed this guy. Okay, what's Pi saying here? We have got some news. We'll come back to this in a second. We have got some news here. We have got some news here. Athletic Madrid are insistent and have told Samu in recent days he's not going anywhere and is not to Chelsea and not to Chelsea. Okay, fine. Cool story. Our information is different to DiMarzio, as Fabrizio Romano said. Chelsea view Nico Williams transfer too expensive and not feasible due to salary. And there you go. Look, so there you go. More confirmation that Nico Williams is overpriced. So another player ticked off the box by the sounds of it. Even though I've not had an All-Star or anything, this is just being news that's been confirmed just now. So there you go. More news on that. Chelsea will struggle for that. Welcome Somerville, potentially. So look, we've got an Aston Villa fan now. I'm interested to understand it. I'm distraught. Kellyman is leaving us. I've watched him for years, and he's going to be amazing. I understand why he's leaving us. All the best. Mark, what's so good about Kellyman to you? And why do you think Chelsea bought him? Good question for you. Nkunku is not a striker. Playing Nkunku, Nkunku is best in a 10 role. Like, that's Nkunku. You know, depending on what we do with him and how we work with him or how we set him up, this is going to be the case. This is going to be the case, and Nkunku for me has to play off that. Yeah, listen, it's not going to happen, unfortunately. As much as we might have liked to get Nico Williams, it's not happening. It's just not happening. So, listen, we'll wait on the winger market because the winger market is an area that I do feel there's a lot of options, but they need to get the right person. What isn't a big area, and I keep coming back to it, is this striker market. And listen, Jonathan David isn't the prime sole target for Chelsea. He's among multiple options. Plus, a contract with Sophie likely to be reasonable. He's among multiple options at the club. I understand to a degree why he's partly an option. That's what I'm saying. Do I think he suits what we do? I don't know. Do I think he can get any better in this Chelsea squad around better players that are going to create more for him? I don't know. Do I think that he gives us more chance of converting the chances that we are creating, which is at a higher level? Yes. Do I think that he's a better option than Duran? Yes. Based on his goal scoring record since 2018, the guy's got proof. Like, I don't really know what we're doing here. Bayer is the best on the Bayer. Let's have a look at this Bayer. I don't know who this guy is, and I can't say much about him, but let's have a look at him. Bayer. Who's he play for? Who does this Bayer play for? Does anyone know? Maximilian Bayer, yeah? This guy. Come on in, let's have a look at this guy. Let's have a look at Maximilian. Jesus, is he out of blimmin'? What's it called? Is he out of what's it called? What's that film? Maximilius. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Pace, skill, and size when he fills out 6'3", good in the air, and absolutely dominated the under 21 league. He's still at 90 million. There you go. Aston Villa confirming to you about Kellyman, another young, talented prospect that we signed. Big up, big man. Can't we? Let's have a look at this Maximilius. What's he out of? There's a film. I can't remember the film now. It's driving me mad. So who is this guy? Let's have a look. He is a attacker, centre forward, 30 million currently in the market. So again, he's low risk in that. He can play in right and left as well. He's got options in his positions. He's played 35 games, full stats. Show me the full stats, mate. So this guy has played 33 games with 16 goals and 3 assists in the Bundesliga. And we talk about blibbing, moan about leagues, farmers leagues. Jesus. 2 goals. He had no goals in the Popgal that he played in. Who the hell is this guy? He played 33 games with 7 goals in the Bundesliga last year, 16 goals this year. And then 3 goals in 30 games. I don't know, I don't know about that, Ashraf. His stats are not... I mean, he might be better on the eye. I've not watched him. I'd have to watch him. But his stats ain't impressive. No, because I'm asking you. You're saying... So what you're saying is... What you're saying is the profile of this boy is better. Because he ain't better in stats. And I'm not a stats man. You know me. I'm always about the eye test. But you can't ignore the stats. Stats are what it is. Stats are what they are. End of. You can't argue that. But I've not watched him. Yes, I need to watch him. I'm not going to comment because I've not watched him, so I don't want to say he's crap. But all I'm saying is he's got better each and every season, but he's only got to double digits. Oh, you're good, AJ, man. Don't worry, bro. You're good. Big up to you. He's only made it to double digits recently. Who else? Give me some other names. I need to watch this guy. I wonder if I can watch him on Twitter. Thing is, I can't show you because I get in trouble. Who is this boy? Did you know the other one as well? I watched him. Oh yeah, I'm watching him now. There was another one as well that I watched that was just average. Dovbik. This guy, Dovbik. Like some of these names. Well, according to a lot of the people in the chat, apparently not. AJ. I mean, I've explained why I think why I understand it, but apparently he's just not good enough profile wise. Which again, I don't know because I don't know how we would use him. But yeah, curious Tony Garassi, David. Do you know what? That would probably be my order. Not gonna lie. That would be my order. I'd probably go Gikores, Tony, or Garassi. Don't really matter, and then David. Out of the list, we got. I would probably say I'm close to that. You know, yeah, I'm watching this guy now. He reminds me of like Andre Schürrle. He reminds me of Andre Schürrle, guys. Nah, I don't know. You know, now I'm watching him. he's got like this Andre Schürrle style about him. He looks better on the wing, by the way. He looks better on the wing from what I just watched this guy. I know that guy ain't doing it for me. That guy ain't doing it for me. They say about that guy. That guy is not doing it for me. I'm sorry. Yeah, but this is the problem, Couch. People are not... Couch, the link's in the chat. Where are you? The link's in the chat. Link is in the chat, guys. This is the problem. I don't think people are still biting to it because it's Jonathan David, but I keep saying that you cannot... And you've showed me Max... You've said Maximilian Beer. That guy doesn't really appeal to me, I'm not going to lie. But you can't ignore, and I'm not saying it's just stats only, you can't ignore that since 2018-19, all the way to now, that this guy doesn't score goals. He scores goals. Like, look at that record. And he's going to cost you 30 million, roughly. Yeah. He's going to cost you 30 million. I don't get how that's not, how, I don't know. I get, like I said to you before, I don't get, if I'm not sure if he will fit the profile of what we're trying to do because I've not seen Maresca yet. I don't know. I don't know that for sure. However, does he improve us in terms of goal ratio in front of goal? Yes. His numbers don't lie. So would he convert a lot more? Yes. Yes. Does he improve us? Yes. Does he improve in himself around better players? Question mark. Do we get the best out of him? Question mark. But if we create for him enough, which we do, we create enough in this team that we have now, a lot more than we have in the past, will he convert? Well, the numbers don't lie. So if Jackson's scoring 15 goals and he's scoring 15 goals, we're better off. That's the way I see it. He's only on 35k a week at Lille. Like, and on top of that, he's 24. He brings experience. He's low risk because he's not going to cost us much anyway. So even if he is crap and it don't work, it's not going to hurt that much, really. Yes, we need to try and find the right individual, but I still think he'll score goals. Just on what I'm seeing here. I don't see why he won't score goals. Especially with like Nkunku and that all around him. That's what I'm saying. All you need from him is for him to add goals. Rotate and add goals. Well, this is another thing, Jack. We don't know how high he is on the list. He's just a number of... And we'll go back to that now. We'll go back to that now so people can... Guys, 300 people in the building. What we saying? What we saying, the 300 people? Hit the likes, please, guys, if you can. I'd appreciate it. We're trying to run these likes up on both channels. I'll go back to it. Among multiple options. So he's a part. He's up there with the multiple options. If it's him or not, I don't know. You know, some people saying they preferred Duran still. I don't think I do. Just on goals. Goals. And I want goals. Guys, I want goals. Yeah, I want someone to come in and fit the profile. I think we have to get that right. I bang on about the profile thing. But rotating him with Jackson and Jackson playing and then him coming in games and maybe giving a stat, something different, I don't mind. Because I have seen him. He works hard off the ball. He ain't a Lukaku, by the way. That was a complete write-off. That was never going to work. This guy will run. He will chase. He will work hard. He will ask their defenders to, to make mistakes. He's in my opinion, he's more of a counter-attacking striker. So on the break, I think you'll see the better of him. Is he better? Is he good enough in a low block at holding and linking and moving? Question mark. But there is some good things there with him, in my opinion. So it's like, okay, this striker market is crap. It's crap. It's not good, guys. It's not good. It's the attributes that matter. David doesn't excel at anything and not good in the air either. Even Werner scored a bucket of load of goals. True. That's true. I agree with that, Ted. I agree with that. I just don't think this market is good. And I don't think going into next season without a striker is a good thing. But I get what I'm saying is, if it was him, to a degree. I'd understand it to a degree. It's based on the 4 things I've told you guys. So what I'm saying to people is, who else? Who else? Who else are we going to get? That's what I keep asking every single person here. Who else can we get up front? Please tell me in the chat. I will look. I've just looked at this Maximilian Bier. Not for me. Like, not for me personally. And these stats are just a bit meh. And even in the eye test, he reminds me of Andre Schürrle. I don't really think that's the guy we need personally, from what I've seen in this short space of time. I need to watch more of him. Can't make a massive judgment on him, but I'm not fully sold on him. Zerke has 33.8 million release clause, and he's a good option, I think. Okay, Zerke, one of the options. I know Arsenal are looking at him as well. Jonathan David is better than Nicholas Jackson. Yeah, buy the forward and buy Ryan Cherky too. He's a bargain. Not a bad shout. Could be as an option off the wing, Jay. I like that. I like that option. Couch, what's your thoughts? I mean, I'm trying to go back and obviously going back and forwards with the chat about this.
Yeah.
Some just are not entertaining it. Others are and saying, well, he scores goals. He's better than Duran. He's better than so. Like, you tell me, what do you think? If he is the guy, and obviously he's not, even though this tweet says among multiple options, he's high up there with a number of other individuals that we don't know about yet. But if it is this guy, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, big up chat. What's up, Jim? I know it's been a minute. It's been crazy. But yeah, no. I've been tracking Jonathan David. Obviously he's a Canadian striker, so I've been tracking him for about like 4 or 5 years now, and he's certainly grown into a capable, competent striker. Within the price range that we're looking to spend right now, he is an ideal fit. He is an ideal fit because he can play Maresca style. He is very good at link up. He is very good at pressing. He's very good at winning the ball. Like his work rate is unrivaled as far as what you get from a striker normally. And of course, if you give him opportunities, he's going to score. Like, it's just as simple as that. The problem that I have with him as an option is that he's not too dissimilar from what you get from Jackson, because he doesn't give you a different sort of like striker. He gives you a similar sort of striker, right? It would be a tireless like pairing where if you take off Jonathan David, you put on Nicholas Jackson in that number 10, number 9 position. They're just going to be working hard, and they're going to be pressing you and pressing you and pressing you. So you don't get any drop off in terms of what you're getting from the striker position. Yeah. But at the same time, I want different options. I want somebody that can be like more of an aerial presence. I want somebody that can be a little bit more, physical within the box and whatnot. Yeah. But he's not necessarily that. One sec. What's up? Okay, I'll make your lunch right now. Okay. Yeah, so in terms of that, like, he's like, okay, but I'm on the phone right now, bud. Okay. I need a snack. Okay, I'll get you a snack. Okay. Let me you sit down, and I'm going to talk, and then I'll get you a snack. No more interruptions. Okay. All right. Cool. So yeah, no, I like him as a profile, but I also think that what he offers right now, what you're going to see is what you get. Like, there's not a whole lot of room for growth in his game right now. I think that he's reached his apex right now, as far as a striker goes. So what you see is what you get. You're not going to see much growth from here. But even having said that, it's still a pretty decent striker if you're talking about 35 million pound, like that's, and like what people forget to realize is he's not we're not in the market for 80 million pound striker. We're not in the market for a guy that's going to be commanding 200 some odd thousand pounds a week in wages. That's just not where this business model is going. So, we have to be able to acquire talent within the means that we can handle. We don't have a stadium. We don't have a shirt sponsor, for God's sake. So people are talking about getting Gokiris at 80 million pound, 70 million. Like, it's just not realistic, So the realistic targets now are guys that are in that 35 to 40 million pound range, maybe a little bit more. And, they're the types that you can see them fitting within the system that Maresca has established for himself, but also, are young enough to grow with the squad. And As far as I'm concerned, there weren't a lot of options that fit that bill. You know how I felt about Sesko. I still think that he would have been a fantastic addition. Like, gives you something different. But yeah, given the striker market, given what they are looking for in strikers and whatnot, there really aren't a lot of options. I just can't see anyone that is a out and out. Yes, that's a guarantee. Like, keep in mind, like even someone like Gokiris or Dogbip or whoever you want to go for. There's a lot of risk when you assign that kind of price tag to players. Like, we can't continually play overs and overs and overs and overs for players that we don't really know are proven within the league that we're playing in. Like, I can't, as much as like what I see from Gokiris is nice. Like, he looks okay. Like, he's playing, he was playing in like this in the championship like 2 years ago or whatever, and now he's in Portugal. You know what I mean? Like, it's not very comparable in terms of like what we want to achieve to do. So that's my worry. In France, yeah, it may not be the greatest league too, but like it's certainly not one of the poorer leagues. Like, there's a lot of good teams in France. It's a proven league in that players that come out of there usually do well. Like, I don't know many that have come out of there that come to the Premier League and fail to adjust well to what's going on here. So there's that to
that's his goal tally.
Well.
Scores goals,
yeah. He scores goals. He certainly scores goals. I would say that sometimes his decision making and decisiveness in the box, how clinical he can be, it's not elite by no means. Like, I watched him enough to know that like when he has opportunities in the box, like sometimes he dwells on the ball and he thinks about things too long, and then the opportunities just go by. Yeah. So it's not ideal, like when you're thinking about what you want in a striker. But it is the market. And like, to be honest with you, this goes back to what I was saying, even about the other striker options that we have. He's the type of guy that is not going to replace Jackson, but push Jackson. Like it's a healthy striker competition right now. Obviously, they're not going to give up on Jackson after 1 year when he scored 17 goals in the Premier League. In his first year at a 21-year-old. Like, there's no way they're going to give up on a guy like that. Yes, he has his flaws. Yes, he does fluff opportunities every now and then, but pretty much every striker does. And in my opinion, like, you give him another year to grow within himself, to mature and whatnot as a striker, you might have your number one already. You don't know that. You have to give them this time, right? And what you have in Jonathan David is a guy that has been number one at Lille for a number of years. They won the league with him. He finished second in the league to Mbappe in goals a couple of years ago. Like, it's not like some like run of the mill striker. The guy can score goals, when given opportunities. And the way that we create chances right now, the amount of opportunities we create, he might be a decent option. I'm not willing to say that like he's my ideal choice, my ideal target. Yeah, but like as an option, and I don't think that like our true targets have been revealed right now in terms of like who we're looking at. We're just basically testing the market and see what's out there, right?
If you could go into next season just with Jackson, like some people were saying, or add this guy with him, what would you do if this is your only options?
Oh no, I definitely add Jonathan David. I think he has enough quality about him to give us something in our current setup, right? Like I said, like his work rate off the ball, like it's exactly what Maresca's asking for from his strikers. Like, this guy knows where to press. He knows where to, he understands press sequences, and he's excellent at it. Not just at club level, but he does it for the country too. He does it for Canada all the time. That's one of the hallmarks of his game. Like, they're playing under Jesse Marsh right now, and all they do is high press, high press, high press. And this guy knows exactly where to be all the time. He's very effective at it. So, aside from his goal scoring tally and whatnot, this guy is a guy that is a little bit more complete in terms of like his overall game. What people fail to realize and fail to understand is that when you play football and you're a striker, you're probably going to get a limited amount of touches a game. You're not going to get like 50, 60 touches a game. It's what you're doing when you don't have the ball that is most important to me. Like, of course you have to score when you score, but like the stuff that you do off the ball, the work that you're doing off the ball, the positioning, all that stuff is just as important. You're like 80-90% of the game, you're not going to be seeing the ball. What are you doing in the game then? That was a problem people had with Lukaku. Lukaku was always, this guy was just so stationary, never got involved in the game. You're not going to say that about Jonathan David. I know that for a fact.
Yeah. I hear you. We've got this comment here from Scotty Cadet. Big up to you. Thank you for the donation. We appreciate it. Big up from San Diego. Hope we get Jonathan David. The kid looks talented. Also, like that, his parents are Haitans, like mine. Shameless
Haitian.
plug. Hey, okay, Haitians. There you go. So he goes shameless plug, but he wants him. So Scotty wants him. Scotty's confident. He's like, get him. We need him. Look, I've given my point of view on it. I've said this. I've explained it a number of times. Listen, I like Garassi, but we're not going to sign Garassi. Like, he doesn't fit the age area of it. He doesn't fit the he ticks a lot of boxes. I just don't think they'll sign a 28-year-old striker, which I think is weird, to be quite honest with you. I would, for how much he would cost, £30 million, scores goals. I like the variation of goals he scores as well. I think he's a good option. Yes, good shout. John Duran, I think it's a punt in the air. Yeah, he's played in the Premier League. Tick. Still young. He will be developing along with Jackson. Yeah, that's what we want. We think the board wants to see, and whoever and what Maresca would want to do. It sounds like, but that is no given that he's going to be a scorer. Is he going to be better than Jackson in front of goal? Well, yeah, he's a clean shooter. If we create enough for him, would he score more than Jackson, or would he add to another 12, 13 goals and join him? I don't know. These are all question marks. Dominic Solanke, I had this big discussion about him in the group chat. Was going back and forwards about Dominic Solanke.
You're getting baited again.
No, like, listen, I'm just not comfortable in spending that type of money for him. Like, listen, he's doing what he's doing for Bournemouth, and I like what he does. I just don't. I'm not. I don't know what it is. I'm just not fully sold on the idea of sending him off to then bringing him back. I don't know.
No.
I think he would score goals. Yes,
65 million. Seems high for me.
Yeah, 65 million for Dominic Solanke just doesn't sit well with me. And then Jonathan David for 30 million sits right with me purely because he scores goals, and I don't care. You can't ignore since 18, 19 all the way to now that he's always in double-digit goals. He's always in double-digit goals. So he will add goals. That, for me, tells me he will add goals in what we're doing, and we will create a lot because we do create a lot. That's what we do. And this is the thing. People forget we are a different squad now, a group now, than what we were when we had Jorginho, Havertz, Mount, and all that. We had partly zero creation with them. It was all through Reece James and maybe Jorginho on the odd occasion and that. Like, it wasn't that much creativity. There's more now. So I think it's different. And that Maximilian Beer, I watched, it just reminds me of Andre Schürrle. I looked at his numbers, 16 goals this season. Last season, 6 or 7, and the season before 3. So he's still on his route of development and doing his thing, but he looks more better as a winger than he does a striker. So again, I need to watch more of him. Samo Odorian, for as much as Atletico want him for, no, because he's quick and he's strong, but he's so raw. I think he's actually more raw than Jackson. Like, he just doesn't look
easily.
Like,
are you kidding me? More raw than Jackson. He's more raw than John Duran. I say that. But it's just not a good fit there. Let's just
ain't a good fit for me. I agree. No. I don't think that. And Mark Guieu, I don't even know who that is. I see as a youth. Who's that? I don't even know who that guy is. I don't know who that is. I can't answer that one. Gokores was operating in the EFL under the noses of the Premier League. Pierre looks like another one, very technical and will move. Look, the reason I was so with Gokores, with Garassi, with the idea of David, but more so Gokores, is just because I'm trying to work out profile-wise how we're going to play and what I've seen. And I just think where we're going to play sort of that high-risk, quick football, I think he would suit what we're doing more in his style.
I forgot about that.
And I think his usage of his body is good. I think he can hit a clean ball from what I've seen. The only question mark with him is just variation, maybe to a degree. He's strong in the air, by the way, very strong in the air as well. So, it's just, you can't, 85 million is unjustifiable release clause. It's a lot of money for him. And I agree, from where he's come from to where he is now, as well as he's doing in the Portuguese league, it's very hard for us to be like, right, we're going to take a risk on it, So it's a tough market. I like Garassi. I'm not going to lie. I think at 50 million release clause, he looks all right. And he's experienced, heavily experienced. He's on the older side.
I mean, like, there's something to be said about, like, style of play too, though, right? Because, like, obviously, who was he playing? He was playing under the he was playing at Stuttgart, right?
Yeah.
And it just seems like, I don't know if there's a natural like every time I see him score goals, I just see him like running at the defense, man, like in space, like
No,
I
he's
don't
got
know.
variation. He's got
Yeah,
variation.
I don't
I've
know.
seen
I
a
don't
bit of
know.
a variation to his game. What I like about him is, like, there's a lot of, when the balls went out wide and whipped in, he's got the ability to hit it first time and find the corners and that. I like that. I like
Hmm.
people that have got the eye to be able to not have to take a touch to then
I
take another
wonder.
touch
I
to
think. I
shoot.
think. I think the attraction to him is the price. It's first and
Yeah,
foremost the
I
price.
know, but I also
It's.
think
It's.
it's low
Yeah.
risk. It's low risk, but it's the overall confidence in himself. When I've watched bits of him, like, he's very confident in him. Like, he knows that he can score goals, and I like that in certain people, like that can just come on and get, make. And the variation's good. Like, he scores, like I said, outside the box. He's good at arriving in. He's good
Hmm.
at little flicks on. He's good in the air. I've seen and I like when you look at go and watch his overall goals for this season. There's a
Hmm.
big variation. It's not just waiting in the box and it lands to him, he taps it, and then like
Hmm.
20 of them like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, just a box striker. Like, he has this way, but what I'm not sure with him is how good is his overall style of play. Like, hold up the ball, bringing the ball, carrying it, all them bits and bobs. Like, I don't know is the only
Yeah.
thing. So,
And it's
but
very hard to. Yeah. I don't know. I can't if I can't see the full package and see how he fits within our
oh
system in terms of like
yeah,
his link up play, can he is he good pressing? Can he win the ball? Can he do all this? Like that's going to be such a massive piece to what we do this season. A massive piece. Like any striker that comes in has to have those attributes about them, or else they're just going to be, like it's not going to be the fox in the box type. You have to be working off the ball consistently, tirelessly. And I don't know, 28-year-old Jurassic doesn't really strike me as a guy that's going to be fitting the bill that way. Maybe as a
no,
plan B, like,
no.
how good is he in the air, really? I don't know. Like, is
He's
he
he's
is
he's
he
good.
winning? Is he winning aerial duels though?
Now, this is the thing I need to see. I'm not seeing how he's build up players,
Yeah,
receiving ball, and like things. What I've just seen is a variation to how he is, in and around that final third area,
right.
and what he can do, like, which I like, which I did
Well,
like. I'm not gonna lie,
well,
but yeah,
well. If anyone in the chat knows more about his game, please let me know because
let us
I
know.
don't
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know much about him. But
I don't
again,
know
what I
loads.
have seen in the comps that I've watched, it just doesn't look like a natural fit in terms of like what we're going to be asking our
I agree with
strikers
that.
to do. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
And as much as I have insecurities and trepidation about Jonathan David, just because yeah, I don't think that there's much room for growth in his game right now, and he's not necessarily a plan B as much as like a prime kind of striker to Jackson. Um, I know that he has attributes that we can use outside of just like, okay, well, if I get an opportunity, I'm going to score a goal. He does things off the ball that are elite, I would say elite, like his pressing and whatnot, and you're going to need that. And to be honest, you said it earlier, Jim, like this idea of goal scoring committee, like scoring goals by a committee, is a real thing, a very real thing. Like Jackson scores 15. You see, if we get Jonathan David, he scores another 13, 14 goals. You got Nkunku banging in like
Yeah, it works
15. You
out.
got Palmer. you
Improves
know
us.
it's
Improves us. Yeah.
I honestly don't think that goal scoring is going to be a problem with our squad. I never thought it was, to be honest. I always thought that the problem was going to be how the variety of goals that we score. Like, can we score, from headed crosses? Can we score, from cutbacks? Can we score like this different types of goals and stuff like that?
Yeah.
And yeah, that still remains to be seen. But as far as I'm concerned right now, the striker market aside, like I think that Jonathan David fits with what we're trying to do, and certainly will push Jackson, if not, displace him. If that
But
makes sense.
what my thing with Jonathan David is, and I've said this, I'm not sold on him, but I get
Mm,
it to a degree, because
yeah,
what he will do is bring goal ratio, which means with more creative chances that we have will get converted with him in. And if Jackson still hits double digits and he joins that, that just puts us automatically in a better position, which means he's improved us. He might not improve as a player playing around all these players, but if he just does what he has been doing at Lille, at Ghent for the last 5-6 years, then we're going to be better off. That's my point. So would you rather have that in your team as an option or not?
mm,
That's it. And the only thing I do question, and I'm big about it, is the profile. Like, once we know how Maresca wants to play, how does he fit in and around it? Like, how do we How is he, if Jackson can't play one day and he starts a full 90, how do we look with him in it? Like, will he, will the levels still be there is what I mean, at a level that we need it to be. That's the only thing. And a lot of times I stick by that. You know me, I'm like profile, it needs to fit, whatever. But you can't ignore that. And I know people go, but now you're looking at stats, but you can't ignore the goals. Like, he's got a good record of goals. And when I compare him to the others that we've been looking at that don't really have records of goals, I'm like, well, this is a thing, for me. So we'll see. But we've got this comment here that says the question everyone is asking is, where's Nkunku going to go into play? I have no idea. It depends on how Maresca decides to set up. But if he sets up like he does at Leicester, then best bet he's probably in 8 or a 9. I don't know the answer to the question to that until I see how he's going to play him. All I know is that if he's
or a 7.
Or a 7. I mean, I don't see how. Hey, Rahul, how you doing? I don't see how he doesn't play in like a 10 role. I still think there will be a 10 role in the Maresca system, to be quite honest with you. Someone that fills in and receives the ball doesn't mean playing as an 8. I mean, he says, to be fair, he says as an advanced 8, which is more of a 10. Like, I don't want you to say a 10 position, but I think he will play as that one that, like I said, runs off behind and does what he does best, which is attack space, and find space for us to be able to create for him. It's just, who's up there with him and what wingers are on the pitch, or if we're not playing wingers, what other technicians are on the pitch. Palmer for sure, but it seems like we're going to attack the left in terms of signing. Somerville's been mentioned as well as one of them. Now Nico Williams has kind of been put to bed from today. We've been told.
Well, I would have told you that before from the time we're linked. That was never going to be serious. Never.
If what Ormstein said about Olise, about the wages and everything and the contract being an issue, how are we going to get Nico Williams?
Exactly.
Maybe. However, I think targeting the left-hand side makes more sense than targeting the right, in my opinion. Just because you have Estevao, Kendra Paez coming next year. You've got Palmer that can play there with Madueke if we need to, and Nkunku can slip into the middle. It's just that left-hand side. If we get rid of Sterling, which could happen, you've got Mudryk. We need someone else. So Somerville's a good option. I think. I don't watch enough of him, but I see a talented individual. I like the sounds of Ryan Cherky, who I think is a good dribbler off the left as well. Don't get me wrong. I like Nico Williams. I'd love him, to be quite honest. I think he'd be very good in what we got, but we're not going to sign him. So again, it's just what options are there out there and who do we go with? And look, Nkunku could play off the left if he has to. We've seen it, but I do think that they're going to sign. We've been told we're going to sign 2 attackers, is what we've been told. So one's got to be striker, one's got to be a winger still. It's just who.
Right. And it might even just be 2 strikers all the same, because I mean, there's a lot. I mean, if you miss out on an Olise, and clearly that was a miss, are you willing to go to like plan B and plan C to fill a hole that wasn't really a hole to begin with? Like, I understand Olise because you're thinking, if you got a talent like this in the market, you have to go and get it. Like, you're never going to have too much talent. But if you're not getting that sort of talent for the price range that you're talking about, then is it really, in your best interest to just go and say, well, let's go for our C target now in winger? Like, I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I think that, what we have right now isn't terrible. It's just not. It's not terrible, to be honest. Like, you can easily play Cole Palmer on the right. You can play Madueke on the right.
Just fitness,
Yeah. You could do that, right? And then, there's a possibility Raheem Sterling can play on the right as well. Don't have to invert him. There's options there, is what I'm saying. And I'm not as concerned with that. And to be honest, I'm not even really that concerned with striker, because I really think that he's going to use Nkunku as a number 9. He will be played there, maybe not regularly, and that maybe that's not his ideal position, but needs must. Like, he can play there, and he's if there's a need there, and there is currently, then he can certainly fill that hole. It's not ideal, I'd say, but I can't see a scenario where we're just going to be looking at Nkunku and playing him as a number 8, number 10, and then maybe a number 7 when he clearly can play number 9 for us, and that is a hole.
All I know is he needs to play. He has to play.
Well, yeah, that'd be nice, right?
He has to play. I don't care who we sign. He still has to start for me because he's that good, in my opinion. I still think he is. Just keeping him fit. Rotation might be key with Nkunku, a lot of it. We have to see. We're just going to have to see what happens. But to be quite honest, I'm going to tie up because I can smell food, man, and I'm getting hungry.
Oh man, me too, B. I can smell your food too. I can smell your food too, man. Give me some of that, man. Hungry, man. I'm hungry out here.
We're hungry. Give us some Chelsea news. I think next week we're going to get. Quite a bit of Chelsea news. I think don't be shocked if we don't start seeing sales and again purchases July onwards because the PSR rules start from or ends on June the 30th, and then it's a new set. So maybe we're waiting for. I don't know. Maybe, but that might. Don't be shocked if we don't do anything next week again. But then all of a sudden, bang, 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 things start happening very quickly. So let's see what happens these next 2 weeks. It's been good. We keep you updated, guys. We'll keep updating you with the stress that is Chelsea Football Club at the moment, and we'll see what happens from there. But Couch, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate it. And
big up President Jafar.
Yeah,
thanks for the shout out, man. Big up, guys. Yeah, we'll just keep it moving, man. Like we're just trying to keep it 100, man. Like nothing. There's no reason to get up on here and lie to you guys. We're just here to talk what we know, and if that doesn't resonate with you, then that's it's opinion.
Yeah, we're not trying to like. Vic was in here and he was like, "You're not convinced me about Jonathan David," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm here to give you that other side of it." Is what I'm saying. It's not about me trying to be like be right all the time because none of us really know. We can only go on what we feel and what we see and why we think we're doing things, and that's how I always look at things. Why are we doing this? Does it make sense? What look at the market, and like I kept saying in the chat today. You're moaning about Jonathan David, but you're not giving me any names. So what do you want? Do you just want to go in with just Jackson next season? And then I heard Gakores, and he's like, yeah, of course, but we're not going to get them because of the release calls, and then there's wages, which he's probably going to want probably 200k plus anyway with someone like him. So we got to look at where we are as a team. I do think we need to sell before we buy still. I keep stressing it. I think a big reason why we haven't got Olise, and I've said this already, is that the wage bill with Lukaku, Sterling, Ben Chilwell.
Nah, that's not
these guys. No, but all these guys. But you can't maneuver a 206k a week deal with someone.
No,
if your rule that we've been told for a while with Chelsea is that you want to cut down the wage bill, it don't make no sense. Like that,
I don't think that the numbers he was quoted he was getting Zaha money from Crystal Palace, and then obviously Bayern are giving him Bayern wages. I just don't think that what he was demanding fits with our wage structure now.
No,
in terms of the players that I get what you're saying too, but it wasn't so much because we have Lukaku on the wage bill. It's because the wage structure is just beyond what we want to do with our new players coming in. There's a wage cap right now. Like they're thinking, okay, here's the number. I don't know what it is, 120k. And then if you reach bonuses, you can get to this. But like starting at 200k a week, you're not going to see that anymore. You're just not going to see that.
We're not signing him for 50 million, Jester. We're signing. Well, he's potentially going to be around 30 mil. We've been told, but again, we need to wait for that. Anyway, I'll be back in the week. As soon as we get any more news, I'll be back. Even if it's tonight, I will be back. But I've got a feeling it'll be some point in the week, guys. Big up to every single one of you. Take care of yourself. Enjoy your Sundays. Peace, guys. Peace.